Bonjour à tous et enchanté. Je suis Naoki Yoshida, producteur et réalisateur de Final Fantasy XIV.
なるほど。では続けてもう少しその具体的なお話も伺いたいんですけれども、ご自身はプロデューサーでありダイレクターだということでいらっしゃいますけれども、具体的な一日のお仕事ってどんな感じなんですか？もちろん今日ジャパンエクスまた違うと思うんですけれども、例えば朝起きてそのアイデアを浮かんだんだってチームに伝えてそのチームが作ったりするんですか？あともちろんコミュニティマネージャーの方たちがフィードバックとかを詰めてもちろんそのアイデアに対するフィードバックとかを聞いてまた変更してとかいろいろあると思うんですけれども、そのリーダーとして一日のその一般的な一日の業務内容を教えていただけないでしょうか？
なかなかものすごくもう
Because we have already started the support for Final Fantasy XIV itself, it's a continuous work, so it's very difficult to cut out one day as a typical work because it's every day sort of is linked to each other. But for example, for talking about updates or update contents, maybe for like a 1 week span or 2 week span, everything has been decided already for 2 patch in the future. We know what content we need to create, what kind of content that is that going to be. Is it for casual players? Is it for core players? What element does that content has to have? How are the players going to enjoy it? Everything has been decided already for the 2 patch in the future, and within this short time span, 1 week or 2 weeks, we work on it and we develop these contents. When I say short span, that doesn't mean we're not spending time on these contents. We have a separate phase prior to that to discuss and decide on everything. And once it's been decided, we have a short time of span to really get on it and make it happen and implement it. So that's why, as I said, like 2 patches in advance, everything has been decided and sort of it's almost like fixed. So, for example, I don't really have like a day I wake up in the morning, come up with an idea and tell people this is what I'm going to do. It doesn't happen like that because everything has been decided for the 2 weeks in the future. So a typical day, I usually go to bed between 10 and 11, and the first thing I think about is like, what is my meeting schedule today, and what do I need to decide, and what time I need to be there, and what do I need to prepare.
だいたい11時から12時にミーティングがスタートして。So
usually the first meeting starts approximately 11 o'clock, and then of course there'll be a variety of meetings. And typical day I have meetings all through the day, maybe from 11 o'clock up to 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock in the evening. The whole day is mostly occupied by meetings. These meetings I can divide it into mainly 3 different categories. The first one is related to the contents we are currently building. So as I explained earlier, we already have an idea what we're going to build, and we already started building. But when we go into details, sometimes the dev teams are torn between 2 ideas, like should we go to the direction A or should we go direction B? And when they're sort of struggling to make a decision, then these are the meetings when I come in, and as a director I give them suggestions, and that's typically the first category of meetings I have a day. The second type of meeting is related to the feedback we're receiving from the players who are enjoying the game now. Because we already started operation support and everything, we receive a lot of feedback. And or for example, we may have sort of already introduced the new content we are planning to introduce in the future. But the players might say, well, actually, that's not what we're looking for. We want you to implement something like this. And if we get that kind of feedback, then we will decide, should we make the changes as they suggested, or are we going to adjust the patch which we already planned in the future? So maybe we need to sort of decide how we're going to respond and how we're going to change the direction. That's the typical second type of meeting. Maybe the players are asking for like a Mac version. They're asking for Mac version. What shall we do? And then we sort of decide maybe this is what we should do next. So because we have already started the game on a daily basis, we receive a lot of feedback. And this second type of meetings are the meetings we try to decide on the direction from the feedback.
でパターン C が例えば
And the third type of meetings related to these promotion activities, like are we going to Japan Expo, what kind of activities we're going to do there, what kind of announcements we're going to make at E3, what kind of assets should we prepare for the announcements for the E3. All these promotion activities are the third type of meetings. So all these three type of meetings are sort of after one or after the other, and these kind of meetings usually last from like 10 o'clock in the morning to 9 or 10 in the evening.
で大体ようやく自分のオフィス
And finally, I get back to my desk maybe 9 or 10 in the evening, and then that's the time I can start checking my emails. By the time I usually have maybe 400 emails in my inbox, and I will start checking all the game designs my dev team comes up with, and also I do some artwork checks. I even sort of listen to my staff's personal issues they're experiencing, and I also talk to the Western teams, the European teams, or American teams. And I usually get to go back home maybe 3 a.m. in the morning, so that's my typical day.